माधुर्य गुणै तं वरं क्षमान्तं नारायणं संस्कृता त्रिदण्डीनां भक्तशिरोमणिं च श्रीकृष्णपादाब्जहृदैकम् चैतन्यलीलामृतसारसारं नारायणं तं सततं प्रपद्ये नमामि नारायण पादपङ्कजं करोमि नारायण पूजनं सदा वदामि नारायण नाम निर्मलं स्मरामि नारायण तत्त्वमव्ययम् जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Hari, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Let me offer me a service of Lord Peter, Gurudev, Pan, Nam, and Ishta, Santa, all present as teacher, Vaishnava, Sitavan, Dandot, Pranam, Vancha, Kalpataru, Gacha, Krupa, Sindhu, Vacha, Patitanam, Pavanebhyo, Vaishnava. This is Purushottam Mass. A to Sanatana Goswami, Bhagavatam, Aristotle Devata of this month. Govardhana Dharam Vande Gopalam Gopika Goparupin Gokulosam Ishanam Govindam Gopika Priyam Goparupinam Gopika Priyam Goparupinam Gopika Priyam Goparupinam is like a covered by spark and is very dear to the gopis. So such essences. So last time, yesterday, please forgive me, there was a rain and then color, the internet was gone. All day was gone. The key today we have connected. So now remember the Navavrindavan. within Dwarka, the architect of the demigods, Vishwakarma, he created a replica of Vrindavan, meaning, of course, the deities, like just like deities. Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda, Gopal, Gopis, cows, everything. It appears like they're there, but it is all, uh, and only Rohini was alone. So Brahma immediately, because when he came down, when everybody was crying at the amazing sight of Krishna and Balaram hugging together, rolling on the ground and become unconscious, you know, both of them. Um, why Krishna thinking of the gopis now, separation? They have become almost inert. So Krishna has become thinking like of them, they he has become like that. And seeing Krishna in that state, Balaram has become like that. This is very difficult to explain. That's why it's Yoga Maya creating uh, such a situation where nobody can solace. We can solace, who can specify. So Brahma also could not do. Nobody else. They're all crying. Seeing that the Yadavas, everybody crying. Whole Brahmanda was affected. So Brahma came down. He himself started crying. Tears in his eyes. Then he had a thought. So he immediately put into action. He called Garuda. Garuda, Garuda was also crying. Everybody is, uh, get up, get up, get up, get up. You have a service to do now. You take Krishna Balaram in the same way and transport it to this Navavrindavan nearby. Very gentle. So expert. Uh, Garuda is expert. He carried. There, Balaram got up. Now, Balaram understood the intention of Brahma. Wow, the whole intention is to bring back Krishna into from unconscious state to this state of what he was in Dwarka, like a princess. He is in the completely mood of Vrindavan. Even though he is not in Vrindavan, he is his his personality. Seeing the affliction of gopis, he also got afflicted. He is, uh, so he must be brought back to this state. Of course, you cannot compare human. uh, you know, so he has to be brought back. So how to do? So they created like a place as if he is in Vrindavan, but not Vrindavan exactly. But then gradually he will remember, hey, wait a minute, this is not Vrindavan. This is, something like that. Anyway, Balaram understood, so he woke up and he dressed Krishna just like in Vrindavan, with peacock, flute, and then made him awake. Krishna awakened gradually, He shakes him and then he gradually opens his eyes. He sees Nanda Maharaj. Wow, face obeisance. And then you see Yashoda, and she is not speaking. Then Krishna understood her intent. She is worried. Why? Because I slept too long. The sun has already arisen. I'm sleeping, so he must have felt. So she is consoling her. Reason, there were so many dreams. I dreamt after going from Vrindavan to Mathura, I killed Kamsa, Jarasandha, so many things. Then I built a city. I married so many, but it's all dream. It's not real. So don't. So when I come back in the evening, uh, I will tell you all about it. So then Rohini comes. Uh, Rohini is speaking. Rohini is telling Krishna, and he's putting his hand. Give me something. My lunch box. Then Rohini says, Mother Yashoda was wonderstruck. She was thinking maybe you're not well. That's why nothing is prepared. But I will prepare and I will send it to the forest. Now you proceed. Your brother, Sakra, they're all cows are all. Okay, okay, he's saying he goes. And then he sees butter in the hands of Yashoda. Very, he's expert sharing. He grabs it and then takes it. And he's calling Balram. Balram, Balram, where? Because he wanted to share that butter with the Balram, but he has got. So he's holding it, he's not eating. Then he sees the gopis there, Chandravadi. He jokes with her. Then Radharani. Radharani is not speaking. Man. Oh, you are in Man. How? Why? Oh, but I did not tell anything about my dream. How do you know? Oh, she is Sarvagni. She knows everything as for the future. So she has understood what I. And he said, oh, rather, don't worry. I married them. It's only in dream, not real. No, don't worry. I will come back in the night. I will explain everything. So he hugs her, kisses her, and then he walks out. Then he goes to the ocean. He saw it was a Yamuna, same color, and he confuses that. And then he is calling friends, Sakas. Oh, Sakas, come, let us jump into Yamuna. We drink sweet water. We'll make cows drink water and then we'll jump. We play. So he's trying to do that. Meantime, he looks around and he sees the big buildings. Now, what is this big building doing in Vrindavan? Then oh, it's Dwarka looks like. What is Dwarka doing in Vrindavan? Then he gets, am I the son of Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, or I'm the prince here? Then meantime, Balaram assisting. Oh, brother, remember, for the purpose why you have come, you know, our relatives, Pandavas, are being tarnished by these demons. So it's our duty, is it not? You have come to reduce the weight of this mother earth. Do you remember? Huh? It is the prayer of the Devata. Huh? So like that, it reminds him, and then finally, yes, tell me who is this? I'm going to fight and kill the demon. He get inspired. So he's gradually back from Vrindavan, moved to Dwarkam. That's why the whole plan now Vrindavan to bring it back. Then he comes back, then he realizes, then Brahma sends Garuda. So Krishna sits, sits on, Krishna Balaram sits on Garuda, and then goes back to the resident in Dwarka, Rukmani's place. Palace. So, this is where I think we left off. Then Sri Devaki Mata already there. Brahma instructed her. Go there. Treated her son and with wholehearted blessing. Then she hastily departed to prepare a meal for him. So he welcomed him and then went to cook for him. Then the beloved Mahishis of Sri Krishna, such as Sri Rukmini and the other queens, hid behind pillars and columns right from the very beginning. Only Sri Satyabhama had not come to this place. Therefore, Sri Krishna inquired from Uddhava about her. So, then Uddhava is telling, oh Prabhu, when we entered Navavrindavan, in the midst of the Raivataka mountain, at that time the mother of Kamsa, wicked Padmavati, was also standing along with all the queens, far away from that place, unnoticeable. He wanted to see the variegated sentiments and ecstasies that bewilder the ignorant people. That foolish Padma, after seeing those unprecedented ecstasies, began to speak to the Mahishis, the queens. He said, impertinent Devaki, unlucky Rukmini, O poor Satyabhama, alas, O fallen queens led by Jambavati. Can you not see these pastimes of Sri Krishna? Give up your ego now and try to do intense austerities to become maid servants of these gopis. Aviris, but she is using a very low taste. Uh, Kamsa, mother of Kamsa. So she is not favorable, but anyway. So the wise and most judicious mother Devaki, the support of the entire world and the bearer of even yourself, spoke after hearing these cruel words of Padmavati. Devaki spoke. Foolish woman, what wonder is this? I performed tapasya with Sri Vasudeva in my past life to obtain Sri Krishna as my son. And as a result, Sri Krishna, the highest bestower of benediction, agreed to become our son. Our Sri Nanda and Sri Yashoda prayed only to Sri Brahma for devotional service to Sri Krishna. Therefore, by a boon of Brahma, Sri Nanda and Yashoda received bhakti because Sri Brahma is a great devotee of Sri Krishna. So, by the influence of that devotional service, Sri Nanda and Sri Yashoda have become more glorious within the entire family. Just as Sri Nanda and Sri Yashoda affectionately raised Sri Krishna, that particular affectionate mood of Sri Krishna toward them is certainly mutual. I also love their sentiment. Afterwards, Sri Rukmini Devi happily spoke some words. The love of all the devotees towards Bhagavan will increase on hearing those words. So, what did Rukmini say? Rukmini is telling. Rukmini spoke as follows. This is what Uddhava is reciting to Krishna. Huh? What Rukmini is saying? These gopis abandoned all ways and means of achieving mundane pleasures and those related to the next world, renouncing such relatives as husbands and sons, serving Sri Krishna in the most confidential manner, overwhelmed by prema, although ensuing pleasant sports such as the Rasalila in Vrindavan. So we try to obtain Sri Krishna by various types of superb sadhanas and by meditating upon him by controlling our states of mind through various ways. However, the gopis obtained that self-same Sri Krishna by the special prema. Thus, the excellent sadhana of the gopis is our topmost goal. So, the excellent sadhana of the gopis is our topmost goal. It says, like Uddhava, even in their meditation, yogis are incapable of following the activities of the gopis who experience divine separation. For this reason alone, the Supreme Person, who himself is the object of meditation for us, meditates upon those gopis. Krishna himself meditates on those gopis. Their people. So how glorious they are. It is befitting that Krishna displays more love toward the gopis than to us, because we are the married wives of our Lord and Master, and are always engaged in religious rites, fruitive acts like begetting sons and grandsons, performing household affairs, and so forth. Moreover, we serve our Lord out of reverential respect towards a husband. However, the gopis serve the Lord with a pure heart without any desire for previously mentioned piety or fruitive acts. Therefore, it is reasonable that Sri Krishna's sentiments for the gopis must be greater and superior to ours. Please understand. Therefore, it is reasonable that Sri Krishna's sentiment for the gopis must be greater and superior to ours. Still, this sentiment of the gopis is not the object of our envy. Rather, it is worthy of our glorification, because only such sentiment is dear to our Lord. It proves the glories of the Lord concerning his acceptance of the subjugation by beloved devotees. Now, later on, other queens such as Jambavati also gave approval of the words of Rukmini Devi. Nevertheless, the daughter of Satyajit, Sri Satyabhama Devi, being unable to tolerate this, went off to her quarters of jealous anger, Managruha. Parikshit Maharaj said, hearing the words of Sri Uddhava, the blessed Lord and life of the gopis, angrily demanded to quickly bring the daughter of that most foolish Satyajit, Satyabhama there. Krishna became little angry. Bring Satyabhama here. What is this? He is being man now. So Sri Satyabhama Devi was the most expert of artistic, beautiful woman. So she began to please her husband, a crush jewel of expert, witty persons who ardently desire amorous sports with the gopis. by cunning displaying her wrath in the name of service. Nevertheless, when she heard the order of Sri Krishna from the lips of her maid servant, she gave up her earthen bed. She is lying on the earth, huh? Bhumi, cleaned her body and quickly approached her Lord. She became ashamed by becoming sulky, untimely, and fearful due to the anger of Bhagwan. Therefore, she hid herself behind a pillar. However, Sri Krishna, sensing her arrival from such things as the fragrance of her body, began to speak frankly with anger. Lord is telling Krishna, "Oh, feeble-minded Satyajit, daughter of Satyajit, you exhibited sulky anger in the past when Rukmini received the Parijata flower. Today, are you also displaying that same mana upon seeing our topmost prema towards the Vrajavasis? O shallow woman, and subordinate to the desire of the Vrajavasi. Are you not aware of this? If the Vrajavasi, Krishna goes to this extent, if Vrajavasis thought their good fortune would come by my abandoning all of you, then I swear that I will do it at this very moment. See, if gopis wanted that I should leave all of you, I will do it. What Sri Brahma said while offering prayer cannot be a falsehood. His words are authoritative. Truthfully, I can never repay the goodwill of the Vrajavasis. I am a great debtor to them. Even if I went and resided in Vraja out of love for them, it still would not be able to, will not be to their welfare or satisfaction. Question arises, if that is the case, why are you here? Why not go to Vrindavan? So Lord is explaining, even if I go there, it will not solve the problem because they anticipate separation, so there will be more. No, I cannot tolerate that. No. Simply by my darshana, they became helpless and bewildered due to the upheaval of deep feelings within them, and thus forget all about gross body necessities. Moreover, they could not even recognize their own selves in that state. What to speak of any other matter? Therefore, in spite of seeing me, their distress of separation can never go away. Even if I perform sweet, playful pastimes with them for their pleasure, still they would become anxious of impending separation. Such enjoyable pastimes only double their distress. So, not having my darshana, sometimes they become restless by the blazing fire of separation. Sometimes they become almost lifeless and take refuge in many sweet words of multifaceted, maddened state. Upon seeing a mass of dense, dark clouds, as well as a tamala tree, or anything resembling my bodily complexion of Shama, the Rajavati cares and embrace it, considering them my actual form. To whom can I relate all of this? Therefore, I do not go to Raja, considering it the same whether I reside or do not reside there. Nevertheless, I have married all of you. I am explaining the reason for doing so. Please listen. Explain why. Oh, proud and haughty woman! While separated from the gopis, I was staying in Mathura. While there, I had no desire whatsoever to marry. Sri Rukmini Devi had taken a vow to give up her life if she did not get me. Therefore, she sent me news via letter of distress. After hearing the news from the lips of the Brahmana who brought the letter, I smashed the false pride of those wicked kings, abducted Sri Rukmini right in front of those besieged kings, and accepted her hand in marriage. Nevertheless, by directly seeing Sri Rukmini, my remembrance of gopis increased even more, and by that recollection, filled with great sorrow and pain, I became exceedingly agitated. I notice all of you here who are eager to obtain me and who performed Katyayani Vrata, similar to those 16,100 covered girls. Therefore, I married all of you simply to pacify my mind, somewhat by your darshan. Alas, impatient lady, surely you should understand that all those divine pleasures and glories of mind have forsaken me, left behind in Vraja. That place alone being actually fit for those pleasures and glories. I could not tell whether it was day or night while immersed in the waves of that blissful ocean of charming, variegated pastimes with those most enchanting residents of Raja. I killed many big demons in Raja in playful childhood pastime. I sent Kalia far away from Raja after subduing him and lifted Giriraj Govardhan by the left hand. While immersed in such an ocean of ecstasy in Vraja, though Brahma and other demigods offered prayers and glorification to me, I neglected all duties to the demigod, considering even their sight and conversation with them bothersome. What to speak of the Vrajavasis? I captivated the entire creation of moving and non-moving living entities. At that time, with Prema, by my extraordinary beauty, elegant attire, and nectarian sound of the flute, Brahma, Rudra, Indra, Chandra, and all demigods and Siddhas and others situated in their aerial transport, as well as cows, bulls, calves, deer, all the trees, birds, grass, shrub, and creepers, rivers, clouds, movable and immovable, conscious and unconscious, the entire universe filled up with flowing prema and ecstatic transformation, and began performing activities contrary to their respective nature. Please ask this Kalindi whether all this is true or not, because this very Kalindi is the witness of my spontaneous pastime with the Brajavasi. She has seen everything directly. Nevertheless, I cannot obtain that ecstasy at this time, despite engaging in playful sports and pastimes with the Yadavas, who are my relatives. Oh, Satyabhama, you became so full of sulky pride that it became difficult for me even to break jealous anger of queens like yourself. So, at this time and place, I shamefully abandoned my dear food. Alas, this is a matter of great distress. What to speak of enacting the pastimes I performed in Vaja? I'm even unable to describe them. But Krishna is telling, cannot even describe them. Only Sri Sukadeva is as dear to me as the Brajavasis, because only he has such magnificent prema as them. By the power of his great love, he shall narrate a little of those pastimes in Vraja to his beloved disciple Parikshit, who is just as admirable and whom I protected. Sri Parikshit Maharaj said, fearing that Sri Krishna may again become absorbed in ecstasy while passionately glorifying the majesty of Raja, Prime Minister Sri Uddhava sent the queens in front of Lord to stop him from speaking such topics. All the queens such as Satyabhama Rukmani surrounded their husband and began to bow at his feet, offering their prayer with pathetic cries. They finally became pacified. Hereafter, in order to feed Sri Krishna, Sri Uddhava hurried Sri Devaki Mata and Sri Rohini Devi entered with food, drinks, and other articles. After this, the highly clever minister Sri Uddhava got Sri Baladeva, who had freshly bathed, to enter there to convey the news of Sri Narada's arrival to Sri Krishna. Hearing all this, Sri Narada Nandanandana, who is the super soul in everyone's heart, smilingly spoke. Why does Sri Narada not come as before? Today, we have stopped him from coming here. Sri Uddhava smiled and replied, O Lord, his own shame and fear prevented him. Then Brahmanya Deva, Lord who favored the Brahmana, Sri Krishna got up, brought Sri Narada into the house and spoke. Sri Bhagavan said, O dear friend, Sri Narada, you are always intent upon pleasing me. Therefore, O best among the Rasika Bhaktas, you have greatly favored me. Though initially an intense anguish arises in the heart from the blazing fire of separation from the beloved devotees, and an endless sadness appears from that, and because of that sadness, the heart seems even more deeply distressed. Nevertheless, the effect of that sorrow of separation is far more praiseworthy than the happiness of meeting, because one experiences an indescribable impression of charming bliss. The reason is that the mind becomes fully blissful when distress and affliction that arise from separation calms down. So the mind becomes completely content, as if it received the happiness of union. So therefore, the mind, confounded by separation from the beloved, again desires that same emotion and becomes extremely unhappy if there is a lack of that separation. Those who opine that the subject matter of separation is not tasteful also accept that it is most beneficial because it creates a remembrance of that beloved person. Somehow or other, remembering one's beloved is like the gift of life itself for loving devotees. The same as if one forgets that person who is dearer than life is even more despicable than death. Although it is impossible to forget one's beloved, who is as dear as one's own life, still somehow or other, if any distinct remembrance of them comes, then it is as joyful as the gift of life itself. O sage among the demigods, you have greatly benefited me. I am very pleased with you. Therefore, you may ask for your desired boon. So Krishna is asking Narmani to ask a boon. Parikshit Maharaj said. Hearing this, Narmani began to shout out, Jai Jai, and glorify Sri Krishna, the grantor of boons, while playing on his veena and performing the kirtana of his names that manifested from the pastimes of Raja. O Mata, the best of sages, himself having traveled from the holy places of Dashashwamedha in Prayag to Dwarka, Puri, has spoken with all the devotees such as the Vipra, the Brahmana. All those devotees have received the fulfillment of their desires by the mercy of Bhagavan. Although Sri Narada knows this, still to hear blissfully from the lips of Sri Krishna directly, he began to pray for the first desired boon from Bhagavan with the best among benevolent personalities. O Sri Krishna Chandra, embodiment of bliss, I am asking this boon from you, and no one may ever be satisfied by your divine mercy, bhakti, and prema. So I am asking a boon. What is that? No one may ever be satisfied by your divine mercy, bhakti, and prema. Bhavato Sri Krishna Chandra Kashyapi Truptirastu Kadapi na Truptirastu Kadapi na Bhavato Anugrahe Bhaktau Premni Chandana Bhajani Chananda Bhajani. Then Bhagwan said, O Sri Narada, O crest jewel of cunning fellows, ha, what type of boon have you asked for? Everyone is familiar with the nature of my mercy, bhakti, and prema. O best of sages, all the devotees you saw and heard from while wandering from Prayag Tirtha to here have attained complete perfection. All are recipients of my mercy and are capable of delivering the entire world. Nevertheless, there are degrees of gradation and none of perfection among them. There is a gradation of perfection among them. Still, not a single devotee among them is satiable by any means. Therefore, he should ask some other desire boon from me. Ha! For Narada, he saw from meeting from Brahmana to the king to Indra to Brahma to Shiva, Prahalad, Hanuman, Pandavas, Uddhava. Nobody is satisfied. So that is the nature. So ask something else. Huh? Then Parikshit Maharaj. Then Sri Narada, while blissfully dancing, prayed to the most munificent, topmost among philanthropists, Sri Krishna, for two excellent boons of charity. Narada said, O Bhagavan, you were never satisfied despite giving yourself to others. Ha! This is what Narada Muni is saying. You are never satisfied despite giving yourself to others. See, this is the greatness of Krishna. Can anyone do? Himself is giving, still is not satisfied. He is thinking that, oh, I am not given enough. Giving himself. Is there anything else other than himself? See, this is the nature of the Lord. How kind he is. Today, all my labor has become successful because now I have especially appreciate all the recipients of your infinite mercy. Although this incident is like a great boon that appeared to be your extraordinary grace upon me, nonetheless, O most munificent one, for a long while I harbored a desire in my heart to ask something from you. Oh, O Rajamsa, who swim, O Rajamsa, who swims in the lake of divine love of the Brajavasis, may I wander everywhere, making the whole world happy, always blissfully drinking the nectar of yours, sweeter than the sweet holy name that originate from the ocean of Gokula, that manifest from your indescribably divine pastimes in the dress of a covered boy. Uh, this is my first request. O Rajamsa, king of the swans, devotees, swan-like devotees, who swim in the lake of divine love of Brajavasi, just as the royal swan happily lives in a lake. Similarly, also live happily in the lake of the love of the residents of Raja. May I wander everywhere while constantly drinking the nectar of your all attractive holy names, arising from the nectarian ocean of Gokula. Thus may I make the whole world happy by spreading the mellow of Kirtana of your names. As I perform my activities like a foolish person, that is simultaneously laughing, crying, making uproarious sounds of lamentation and dancing due to the manifestation of the bliss of Prema. So Dan is saying, may any person who faithfully describe, this is the thing, may any person who faithfully describes your Rajalila by his mouth, hears them by ear, grasps them in his heart, or even once touches your pastime or pastime place by any bodily limb or secondary limb, then may that person obtain eternal devotional service to your lotus feet, which are decorated by the kumkuma from the bosom of the gopi. This is my second request for a boon. So you understood. Second is that is Nardman is asking for the welfare of all living entities. What is that? Any person who faithfully describes your Rajalila by the mouth, or hears them by ear, grasps them in his heart, or even once touches your pastimes or pastime places by any bodily limb or secondary limb, or thinking about it, even though if you are not able to go there thinking or visiting by mind, then may that person obtain eternal devotional service to your lotus feet, which are decorated by the kumkuma from the bosom of the gopi. So that's why we go to Navadvip Dham or Vrindavan Dham, especially Kartik, to touch those places or hear about them, visit by mind or every day, or every second. So Parikshit Maharaj said, thereafter Sri Gopinath stretched out his lotus hand with great respect in a gesture to give benediction and said cheerfully, so be it. Hearing this, Narmani immersed himself in an ocean of infinite bliss and began to give enormous pleasure to Sri Krishna by repeatedly dancing and singing. Thereafter, Sri Narada relished many kinds of drinks and sweet rice along with Sri Krishna and Sri Balaram. While honoring Sri Rukmini began to serve all the preparations after showing them to Sri Devaki Mata and Sri Rohini. So now Uddhava, Sri Krishna and Balaram, Narada. So Uddhava began to recall every item at that time. Sri Satyabhama Devi was planning. Sri Jambavati and an assortment of queens began pleasing them by performing timely services. In this way, Sri Krishna himself applied the sandalwood paste on the limbs of Sri Narada, performing Achimana for purification after the meal, and worshipping him, decorating him with various types of ornaments such as the garland. Thereafter, Sri Narada, eager to serve and please the sages who were waiting for him in Prayag, got permission from Sri Madhava and went away, blissfully singing the glories of the bhakti he had experienced while wandering to different places. So in Prayag, they were waiting. So he wanted to go there. All those sages who only extract the essence completely gave up at once their fruitive practices and speculation after hearing the glories of devotional service from the lips of Sri Narada. Narada went and explained all this. Then they gave up their fruitive active practices. According to the advice of Sri Narada, the sages began to worship the lotus feet of Sri Madana Gopalan with divine complete humility. Oh mother, this is Parikshit Ishtan, Mother Uttara. Oh mother, you should also do bhajana daily of Gopa Kishora. That youthful covered boy who is enchanted by the prema of the gopis, with the ocean of nectar of Rasa Leela, and who the gopis all surround. You should also engage in Nama Sankirtan with loving devotion while desiring the service of the gopis. Just as bees cannot lift Mount Sumeru with their heads. This is amazing. Just as bees, you think bees, ordinary bees can lift a Mount Sumeru with their heads. Similarly, I cannot vocalize the glories of even one gopi among all those gopis. Wow. Jai Parikshit Maharaj ki Jai. This time. Alas, although my Gurudeva is deeply absorbed in the mellows of constantly chanting and singing Sri Krishna's names of beloved Sri Rukmini and so forth, nevertheless, he is unable to utter the names of the Braja Gopis. That's why Sukadeva Goswami never uttered any Gopi's name. Even though uttered Rukmini and all that. Reason is that the Gopis are always smoldering in the blazing fire of an unreserved and remarkable form of prema that has reached its utmost limit. Thus, in the process of glorifying the gopis, a special remembrance awakens, and Gurudeva becomes agitated by a mere touch of a spark of the poignant blazing hearts of the gopis. So much so that he cannot even chant the gopis' name. Oh mother, if you do bhajana of Sri Gopinath with the affection and prema encountered in such pastimes at the Rasalila of the Gopis, then by his mercy you will genuinely be able to understand some of the glories of the Gopis too. Whoever faithfully hears, chants, or somehow or other nicely accepts shelter of this supremely divine narration, in which the recipients of the essence of Sri Krishna's mercy is ascertained, shall also quickly obtain the same gopi prema towards Sri Krishna. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. So this ends the first part of the Bhagavatam. Tomorrow we will start the second canto. We have another 12, 13 days of this Purushottam month. So we take our senses, prayer the lotus feet of Gurudev, Guru Bhakti, have mercy on us. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya Patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Dandavat pranam to everyone. Please forgive me.
Dandavat pranams.